Joining me now is a man that UFC fans haven't seen for a minute. It's been a few years since Alex Reyes, who's joining me here, has competed in the cage, and there's been a lot. There's a lot that's gone on in the past few years, man. We talked in November 2019. You and I had a phone call, and you were going through some stuff, some health things. I guess kind of for people that didn't read that story or really aren't familiar with what was going on with you, can you put into words? I know it's been 5 or 6 years. It's a long time, but can you kind of explain to people what was going on with you?
Just in the gist of things, man, I had got a stem cell injection that caused an infection in my spine, and man, I was hospitalized and I was on IV antibiotics for about 5.5 months or so. Failed the first round. Came back. They wanted to operate, and I convinced the doctors to let me try to beat it, and they did another round of antibiotics, and I beat the infection. And it's been some time, man. It was extremely tough at that time, man. Like, doctors telling me I wasn't going to walk again, I wasn't going to hold my kids, that I need to change careers. And I had a lot of supporters around me, my family, my wife, coaches, management, staff at the UFC, and they believed in me, and I gave it my best shot, and I beat the infection and didn't need a surgery. And here I am, man, 5 years later. My mind never left the sport. I own a studio, so I've been training athletes and being a part of every day. And now my body's completely healed up, and I got cleared. I got the okay from my doctors, and I'm good to go, man. I'm excited to step back in there. And life's tough, man. Every fighter has a tough road and a tough journey. And mine was pretty darn tough as well. And get back up on that horse and you keep riding, keep pushing, keep grinding. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm excited to get back in there and continue to compete at the highest level of the sport.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I think the last time we spoke, you said something that was kind of powerful. You said that, you felt like the train was leaving you a bit and you wanted to get on again, but you didn't know when it was going to happen. But my understanding is that you now know when it's going to happen. So you have some news you'd like to tell the world here?
Yeah, man, fighting February 25th at the Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. So, man, tune in, guys, and watch my comeback fight. And as I get back on that train and keep riding to the top.
Amazing, man. I love it. I've checked in with you a couple times since we did that interview, just because I felt like it was sometimes people have things happen in their life that are bad decisions they made, but it seemed like this was something that was out of your control and something that, you didn't sign up that day to have this happen and have it change your career. So can you even put into words how the emotional roller coaster you've been through to get to this point?
Man, it's been crazy. It's been extremely tough, man, from being, laid up in bed, not being able to walk, to all the doubts in your mind about just regular everyday life things. You know what I mean? Being able to function and live a normal life the way that you want to live. Me, myself, being a professional athlete, training, being physical, being active, and to not be able to play with my kids and not be able to move, and live the life that I want to live. And it's been a mental roller coaster, on the road back. There's been good days and bad days, and it's been extremely tough, but I feel great, man. And I'm just blessed that I'm at this point, and I'm fortunate to be at this point in my life, in my career, to be able to step back in there at the highest level of sport and compete. And my body's ready, my mind is ready. And I tell you what, man, the things that I've been through, the things that I felt were taken from me, the mental toughness that I've gained from it, I'm not going to break, man. And I can only take all this adversity that I've been through and use it as fuel and fire, and know that I can do anything, and anyone could do anything really if they put their mind to it and have a passion for it. And that's what I've done, and I've stayed positive, and because of all that, here I am.
Yeah. What was the most difficult part for you? I know you went through a lot, physical stuff. You had talked about grueling, like you just mentioned, you couldn't even walk at one point. But I'm sure there was a mental side of it too. Like you said, watching kind of the time pass and stuff. If you can nail something down, I mean, what was the biggest challenge that you faced during this time off, do you think?
Man, seeing the train going without me, you know what I mean? Seeing fighters that I was booked to fight before, I had got the injury, seeing them continuing the career. It's good for them, but, seeing anything move on without me, you know what I mean? And not being able to get back in there, not being able to train, at a certain point, man, the hardest thing, there's so many things to put my finger on, it's kind of hard. The whole thing, it was pretty horrible experience, but not being able to get back in there, man, and like I said, seeing the train leave without me.
Yeah.
It's just hard to say. It's hard to put words, hard to put one thing, because the whole thing was horrible. Not being able to train, not being able to go compete, not being able to chase, my dream, everything that I've worked for pretty much, most of my adult life. I have focused on mixed martial arts and growing and developing and training and to compete at the highest level, and to not be able to do that and to have that feeling of it being taken from you, when I was doing everything right, you know what I mean? And it was extremely tough. It was extremely hard, but I stayed true to myself and stayed on that path and stayed positive, and here I am.
Yeah. And what like, I'm sure a lot of people would have kind of, withered, not physically, but I mean mentally, like, oh, I'm going to put MMA on the back burner. I'm not going to think about that, or that's unlikely that I'm going to go do that again. So for you, what was kind of the motivation for you, and how were you able to kind of stick with that dream and not give up?
Having positive people around me, and just being a part of the sport, obviously when I, was injured like that, and the possibility of me of picking up a fight in a couple weeks or a couple months was definitely out of the question. I had to start over, I had to start small, and just focus on the little things, just, getting my jits back, getting my striking back, getting my movement back and my conditioning back. And it was extremely tough, but having my students, my teammates, my friends, a big influence, that's been around me and positive is Bobby Green. We've been friends for a long time, since 2013. We're training partners, and his positivity and helping me and getting me back into the shape that I need to be in to compete at this level, and the timing and range. And he's been a big help and a big, uh, inspiration or motivation to me. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And
I don't know.
you must have loved seeing his long overdue blow up during the your time away, becoming, I think he's always been a fan favorite, but it seems like he kind of took it to the next level in the last couple of years. So that must have been pretty rewarding as his friend and training partner to see that, huh?
Yeah, it's exciting to see him grow, and that's also part of it, watching him win and being a part of his, progress is definitely helped motivate me, and, get me back on the right track. More encouraging than anything, but most motivation I could say would be my own students in my gym. You know what I mean? Show up to the gym today, train these kids, train these adults, put in that work, finding the passion. Obviously, I have a passion for it. Then you get these new students who are new to the sport or unfamiliar with it, and it has its difficulties. And when they grow to love it and they grow to have a passion for it, it's exciting. And it's that new, fresh. You call it? It's like reigniting. It gets you, remotivated to see them growing and see their successes and being a part of it as well. So, like I said, just being part of the sport and training and passing on the knowledge that I have, and seeing my students succeed and have success, and um, really kept me connected and kept me motivated in the sport.
Yeah, amazing, man. Was there a time where, when I spoke to you in 2019, you were kind of just taking it day by day, I think was the expression that you used. Was there a period where things kind of turned a corner, or was it just a gradual, step up the ladder every day, and eventually you got where you were supposed to be?
Yeah, man, it was a process, slow process. I work hard, put the work in, then have pushbacks, and have tough days, bad days, and taking it day by day. And I just kept pushing it, kept pushing. My body kept responding, kept growing, kept seeing gains in my progress. And I would say the turning point, what really got me fired up and going, which I kind of mentioned earlier, was reconnecting with my old teammate and friend, Bobby Green, and being brought back into the fold of the UFC and MMA and training. And it really started seeing a turn in my training and my progress, timing and speed and power, and being able to be back to where I was, you know what I mean? And so I think that's what got me. That was a training point, I could say, you know what I mean? When I started training with other high level athletes
Yeah.
and being able to be pushed and push them as well.
Yeah. How are you feeling physically? Are you like, do you feel like you did
Bro,
before this whole thing happened? Is it that good?
bro, I feel great. I feel good, which is crazy. It's been a long road and a long journey, but man, yeah, I'm back to feeling 100%. I'm ready to get in there and, let my skills show for themselves.
Yeah. And you got a good matchup here in front of you. Trevor Peak, a guy that was on Contender Series, was in a good battle. You excited for this one? Have you studied him a lot? I don't know. Fighters, some of them study their opponents, some have the coaches study. I guess where do you kind of fall on that?
I study my opponents as well, and he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. Comes forward, congrats to him. He just won the contract, got into the show, and I'm gonna go in there and do what I do,
Yeah.
finish fights.
Yeah. Do you feel like this is because I know you grinded. This is the thing, right? You grinded a long time before you got that first UFC shot. So do you feel like you're kind of picking up where you left off here? Like, should we expect a new and improved Alex Reyes to a certain degree? Because you've been, like you said, you've been teaching, you've been doing all this stuff. Like, it's not like you've been away from MMA for 6 years.
Yeah, the period of time when I was really injured, obviously my body wasn't up to par, but keeping my mind sharp, keeping my mind in the sport, train, like I said, training other fighters, training other athletes, and building them as well, and teaching the techniques has really kept me, locked in to the sport. So my body wasn't there, but my mind's been there the whole time. You know what I mean? And now that the body's caught back up, the mind is there, and the mind is actually I'm grown, and I am excited to show the new me and the new techniques that I've been working on, and the new attributes that I have.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's a lot's happened. The pandemic happened. The UFC Apex era happened. Do you think that will be a little? Did you want it in front of fans? That was the other thing I was thinking. Like, would you have preferred this, or do you think this is good? Like, it's a little less going on.
Oh, there's always pressure going to every fight, man. But honestly, I think most fighters you speak to will say that they prefer to fight in front of the fans. The energy of the crowd, the arena. There's nothing comparable to it. And of course, I would like to have fought in an arena full of fans. But hey, I got a job to do. Doesn't matter who's there. I know tons of people are going to be watching and tuning in. So I'm going to go in there and enjoy the moment, enjoy the night, and bring health to that guy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. I was thinking too. I remember when we spoke before, you had kind of talked about that you weren't the only one that was kind of affected by this sort of issue, right, from this company. Was there anything that ever came about with that? Like, I know at the time you told me they couldn't really find the guy that was involved. Like, was there anything that ended up happening?
No, man, not much happened from that. You know what I mean? I didn't hear anything about the guy since then. I think there was a small settlement from the one distributors and that, but that was about it. You know, nothing crazy.
Yeah. Well,
Nothing
it
to
is,
retire over. I tell you that.
yeah, for sure. Well, I guess what do you think the emotions are going to be like when you walk out there? Do you think you'll be able to kind of table this stuff, or is that just something that with what you've been through, like there's no table in the emotion and the motivation and everything that you're feeling when you walk out there?
Oh yeah, man. There is no table in that. You know what I mean? All the emotion, all the hard work, everything, all the sacrifice I've been through, all the sacrifices my families have made, and my friends and supporters have been there for me and helped me. It's going to be emotional. You know what I mean? But I have a job to do. I'm a professional, and I'm going to use all that energy as fuel and go in there and put on a great performance and put on a show. And I'm out there chasing that fight night bonus. So expect to see fireworks.
Yeah. And does anything change for you in terms of long-term goals? Like, this is a new year for everyone, new beginning. Everybody's looking ahead, January 2023. I guess what's kind of your path here? Are you just trying to take it fight by fight? Do you feel like you could, within a few fights, kind of climb up the ladder, become a contender? Like, what's kind of the long-term goals for Alex Reyes here?
Oh yeah, man. If you're in this sport and if you're fighting at this level, the goal should be to compete at the top and to be a champion, or else don't fight. You know what I mean? So that is my goal. I'm picking up where I left off. I'm getting back in there, gonna get active again. So hopefully you guys start seeing me a lot more. Hopefully UFC keeps me busy. And yeah, my goal is to climb the ranks, man, and get in there and fight the best in the world and, chase that belt. Would that happen this year, chasing the belt? Realistically, probably not. But I like to be in the top 20, hopefully by the end of the year.
Yeah. And in a week, 2023 and MMA has kind of been off to a rough start. There's been a lot of kind of darker stories and stuff, but I think it's nice to have yours kind of lighten the mood a bit. So I guess for people out there that might be going through something similar to what you went through, is there any sort of advice that you would give them on how to kind of stay focused, stay positive through and focus on their goals?
Yeah, man, life is tough. Take it day by day. Set small goals, stay focused. You will have setbacks because that's life. It's tough. It throws all kinds of curveballs at you, and a lot of things can happen that you don't account for. And when those things happen, stay calm, stay patient, stay in the pocket, keep rolling, keep coming forward. So just take it day by day. Stay positive, surround yourself with good people, find a good book, and stay focused.
Awesome, man. Well, February 25th, Alex Reyes is back almost 6 years after your last fight. Trevor Peak, everybody catch that. I'll be at the UFC Apex. And Alex, man, super happy for you. Everything you've been through. It's been really motivating even for me to see what you've been able to accomplish. So I appreciate the time, man.
Thanks, all, man. I'm excited. I'm blessed to be back speaking with you, man. I know you did my story when I initially got sick, and I was excited for you to do my comeback story, to speak with you again eventually at some point, and here we are. And I just want to say thank you to all my friends, my family, my wife, my students, some of my best friends who helped take care of me when I was really sick. And I'm just excited to get back in there, man, and get that energy and feel that rush and put my skills on display and put on a show for everyone, man. I really enjoy going in there, performing, finishing fighters, and feeling that reward of all the sacrifices you made paying off. So I'm excited, man.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again, dude, and congrats on everything. Super happy for you.
Thank you, Nolan. Appreciate it, brother.